You're not lazy. Your brain is just addicted to cheap pleasure. Every swipe, every scroll, every little red notification has trained your mind like a lab rat, not to seek purpose, but to seek the next hit. This isn't just distraction. It's chemical slavery. And dopamine is the leash. We call it the dopamine detox, but that phrase is misleading. You can't detox from dopamine. It's not poison. It's the molecule of motivation itself, the reason you get out of bed, the reason you chase anything at all. The real problem isn't dopamine. It's how the modern world hijacked it. Our ancestors worked for every drop of reward, effort, survival, movement. Today we live in a psychological casino. Endless scrolling, sugar, porn, notifications, noise. Every app is a slot machine for your attention. Every short-term pleasure trains your brain to expect stimulation without effort. That's why discipline feels painful, because your dopamine system is wired for comfort, not challenge. Most people don't understand this. They think self-discipline is about forcing yourself to work harder. It's not. It's about rewiring the brain. Teaching it that meaning feels better than distraction, that self-control gives more satisfaction than instant pleasure. This is neuroscience, not willpower. Inside your brain, dopamine follows a simple rule: anticipation, reward. You get the biggest surge not when you win, but when you expect to win. That's why habits matter, not because they make you robotic, but because they reprogram your reward system. When you repeat a hard habit, waking early, focusing deeply, pushing through discomfort, your brain starts linking discipline with pleasure. And that's the secret. The moment discipline becomes its own reward, you're free. It's the same chemistry behind addiction, just redirected. Instead of chasing cheap dopamine from your phone, you chase it from your progress. Instead of needing external validation, you start to crave the quiet satisfaction of mastery. That's self-improvement in its purest form. Not motivation, not hype, but biological freedom. But to reach that state, you must first go through withdrawal. Not from dopamine, but from stimulation. The dopamine detox isn't about quitting life. It's about quitting noise. No screens, no comfort food, no quick dopamine loops, just silence, boredom, focus. At first, it feels like dying, because your brain has forgotten what natural clarity feels like. But slowly the fog lifts. You begin to notice the weight of your thoughts, the stillness behind your impulses. That's where real mental clarity begins. People call it mindfulness, stoicism, or self-mastery. But in truth, it's a return to your natural baseline. The baseline that modern overstimulation buried under layers of chaos. You start to realize something profound. Pleasure without purpose always becomes pain. That's why scrolling never satisfies, why comfort never feels comfortable. Dopamine without meaning is a drug. Dopamine with meaning is drive. When you practice self-discipline, you're not punishing yourself. You're healing your brain. You're restoring the link between effort and reward. Every time you resist distraction, you're teaching your mind that focus is safety. That boredom is not an enemy but a signal. It's time to create, not consume. You're slowly detoxing from the digital addiction that trained you to mistake noise for progress. This is the essence of psychology and human behavior. Your brain doesn't care what makes it feel rewarded. It only cares that it feels rewarded. That's why change feels impossible until one day it doesn't. Because repetition rewires identity. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. And your habits are sculpted by what you chase daily. So you start small. Wake up without checking your phone. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Focus on a single task without switching tabs. Feel the discomfort, and that's your brain rewiring. Every time you resist, you strengthen your willpower. Literally, your neural pathways of control. You're building the architecture of inner strength. You see, the dopamine system isn't moral. It doesn't care whether you're meditating or scrolling TikTok. Both release dopamine. The question is, does it make you grow or does it make you numb? True discipline isn't about rejecting pleasure. It's about redefining it. In this modern era of distraction, your biggest rebellion is to stay still. Because silence has become the rarest luxury and the most expensive one. When you learn to enjoy effort, you unlock something deeper than motivation. Autonomy. You're no longer a slave to algorithms or impulses. You operate from consciousness, not compulsion. And the beauty is, your brain adapts. Over time, the same dopamine rush you used to get from endless scrolling starts showing up when you finish reading, when you write, when you train, when you work with full presence. You start craving progress, not escape. You start to find beauty in consistency. That's neuroscience meeting philosophy, biology aligning with purpose. But here's the paradox. Discipline isn't supposed to feel exciting all the time. Sometimes it's dull, repetitive, even painful. That's the point. You can't rewire your brain while still chasing stimulation. You have to sit in the boredom long enough for your mind to remember what peace feels like. This is what Stoicism and mindfulness always pointed toward, emotional control through awareness. It's not suppression, it's observation. When you detach from the impulse to react, you gain the power to choose. That's emotional intelligence, to feel the craving and not obey it. Over time, you begin to love the process itself. The daily ritual of effort becomes sacred. The brain that once screamed for instant gratification now whispers gratitude for simplicity, because nothing feels better than progress earned through presence. You don't need constant motivation. You need meaning, because motivation fades, but identity lasts. When you start identifying as someone disciplined, your actions follow automatically. That's personal growth at a cellular level. And the world will notice. You'll move slower, but with intent. You'll speak less, but with weight. You'll no longer chase validation. You'll emit it. That's the quiet confidence born from self-transformation. So if you want to rewire your brain, stop chasing dopamine and start mastering it. Build habits that make your future self proud. Choose discomfort that expands you. Because pleasure is temporary, but progress rewires forever. In the end, discipline isn't the absence of pleasure. It's the evolution of it. And once you taste that kind of joy, you'll never go back.